let's take a look at what happened in the B group. And the best performance in the snatch competition. To the man from Turkey, Semih Yachi, 154. That was Bolyarin of Ukraine, my apologies. But the Greek athlete Antonis Matasiris with a good effort in the clean and jerk. Took 2 attempts, though, to get this 192, but with it managed to book himself the gold medal in the clean and jerk and the overall, courtesy of lighter body weight. But unlikely that the weights that we've seen in this B group are going to have any impact on the A group. But a good indication of the kind of lifting that we're going to see in this 85 kilo category. We really are moving into some unbelievable weights. So good effort from Matasiris, finishing top of that B group. And we're ready now to get our A group competition underway. 9 athletes to come out. Pizzolato, the junior from Italy, just 18 years of age, is going to get things underway in the snatch at 151. But we think we've probably got 5, maybe 6 athletes that are going to be competing across both disciplines for the medals, and then the overall title should be a really good shootout. So good wide grip from the Italian. And alongside me, as always, Michaela Breeze, our Eurosport weightlifting expert. Good to see Pizzolato up here in the A group, but he's going to have to work hard to stay with this sort of class.
Yeah, well, this young man is still a junior, and it's nice to see him moving through the ranks. And you know what? We've had Italians in quite a few of the A groups this week, and it's good to see the Italians have a system that's working and that's producing lifters to a decent standard now. It's been many years since they've really featured in this many A groups, but he's got his work cut out to try and stay with the medals. I think this competition for him will be more about experience.
Yeah, good bronze medal from Georgia Bourdinon yesterday. Dovmashan next up for the Netherlands. Just a single kilo improvement on the Pizzolato weight.
Oh, this is maybe a bit of a panic decision here. Had a starter of 157 that he posted at the weigh, and he's brought this down 5 kilos. And what happens once the bar has reached a certain weight, it can't come any lower. So I'm guessing he's probably just missed his last warm-up attempt, has had a minor panic and said, hang on a minute, bring my starter down, let me get one in.
Into the last 10 seconds as well.
Oh, not convincing at all. It's a good lift, but it's far from convincing. He only just generated enough height to drop under. He's in a bit of trouble here. I don't think he's going to progress much further unless those legs really start to wake up.
Yeah, that's not great from the 24-year-old.
Yeah, good extension, but just not much height generated. Nearly went out the back door. Has the legs to stand, so maybe a sensible decision from either his coaches or himself by bringing his starting weight down. I think a 157 may just have buried him.
But he's got a number on the board. He's in the competition.
That's what matters. You've got to register at least 1 snatch, 1 clean and jerk to give yourself a total.
Agassian coming out as well, the Armenian, 26 years of age, World Championship silver medalist and 2011's European champion. Got the kinesiology tape across the shoulders and knees.
Oh, very deep on the receiving position. But that's fine, so long as no other part of the body touches the platform, apart from the feet. 153, he's in the competition. Personal best of 172. That was set back in 2010. Yeah,
we've got a few of those athletes in here today who've had a golden period a few years ago. So not to say they're not capable of producing the results still. But when you look back on the likes of Yufkin and Novikov and Agassian, you have to go back a few years for those PBs. So maybe no surprise to see the Armenian coming out just that little bit earlier. So solid lift from him. Gets himself on the board, as Michaela said, 153. And the Dutchman waiting in the wings. We're going to see a fair bit of cat and mouse with this group, and it'll start quite early as well, with those 5 or 6 competitors in with a shout at the medals.
Just trying to get some heat into the lower back. Maybe he's carrying a small niggle. Looks like the bar is probably going to go up to 155.
Oh, we've got another man who's going to make an early entrance if the graphics are to be believed. Alexi of France, maybe seeing him pretty soon. Pizzolato back out onto the stage, the junior, determined to enjoy himself here at this competition, and that's what we like to see. Something about the lifters, and the Italians never short of a bit of character up there on stage, and they've performed well so far at these championships. They've been very entertaining, but it's also been a really good return for the work that this program has put in over the last few seasons. Now, big step up in class this for the junior Pizzolato. But this is how you learn. This is how you get your experience.
No.
Oh, no, too much on 155.
That was a personal best attempt by 3 kilos, his best 152 coming into this competition. So that would have been a significant lift from a personal point of view. You see the tape, his right hand is heavily taped as well. Probably just torn a callus. I think he did it on his previous attempt. I don't think he had it when he came out for his first lift. So you rip your hand, you just need to man up and get on with it.
Now then, Marcian next out onto the stage. He was having a good look at his right hand after the first lift as well. I'm guessing that's a coaching phrase you've used a few times, Michaela, over the years.
Oh, I believe in terms of ripping your hands, it usually happens when you're tugging on the bar. Personally, I've never ripped my hand. Always looked after my hands in terms of making sure the calluses are kept to a minimum, filed down, so if they do rip, they don't rip too badly. But I always try and relax my arms when lifting rather than tugging at the bar. So if an athlete tugs, that's when they're most likely to tear their hands.
Tight on the clock again. That's Tovmasian's style, and no lift.
Well, we said he was in trouble. We assumed that something had gone wrong in the warm-up room.
Moving a little more stiffly. We saw the coach working on his back just earlier. He did get that 152, but made it look hard.
Well, this is almost certainly a psychological issue. Wasn't in the right position as the bar passed the knees. Looked like he bottled it mentally. He'll have one more attempt at that.
And the same goes for this man, Pizzolato, into his third lift already. And there's a big difference for him from the competitions that he has been used to at junior level, where he would have been the man coming in slightly later. And now we'll get all 3 lifts done with the vast majority still to go.
Well, senior European debut.
Take
Personal
that,
best.
new PB, yeah.
That's the way to do it. Young man progressing rapidly and with confidence.
155 then for Pizzolato. Improves his PB on the big stage. So that'll do nicely. But we've got a lot more to come. Bardis, Yufkin, Bulat, Anaka and Doglo still to come into this competition. You wouldn't say that's the most confident of stances on the stage, would you?
Well, he's taking a glance at the clock, just trying to take a minute to compose himself, but this is going to take a really gutsy effort to commit to dropping under. It's a bit like if you... Probably the best example is you imagine a vault in gymnastics. You cannot run up, take off and then pull out halfway through. That's when you're going to hurt yourself. So same here, you've got to fully commit or not bother.
So it's go big or go home time, and I'm afraid for Tovmasian, he has got to wait at 152, but I would say that's an athlete that will be struggling to come out and lift in the clean and jerk phase. There's clearly a problem, and it looked to be in the back area.
The back or in the head, not sure which. I think that's in the head. I think he's not hobbling off, he's not holding his back. I think while his back might be a bit tighter, he may have some underlying injury. I'm sure we'll see him come out and try to establish himself on the clean and jerk.
But in the snatch, just feeling a little bit heavy today for Tovmasian. Now then, Benjamin Ennecat, good record in the Olympics, in World Championships and in European Championships. Picked up a bronze medal last time out. So very solid, very experienced competitor. Got a great team around him. Oldest man in the competition at 30 years of age. 170 PB on the snatch, 215 clean and jerk. So he's got the numbers for a medal today, that's for sure. Very defined athlete.
He's in good shape. Maybe a little too heavily built around the shoulders and the arms. Don't need the muscle up there. Need it all in the legs and glutes. Ooh, dodgy right arm. He'll smile nicely.
Yeah.
Walking off confidently. Convince the judges he's happy with that. He'll get it.
Yeah, 3 white lights. Sometimes name and reputation can do you a few favours in the big competitions.
And he knew it as well.
Oh, it was there, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was movement, but this is a response you should have. If in doubt, give it a smile, walk off confidently and hope for the best.
Yeah, very good point. Ultimately, it's somebody else that's making the decisions. You need to help them on their way.
NK's got a personal best of 170, but a massive clean and jerk, 215.
Yeah, that's going to serve him very well in the second phase of this competition. Just needs to be there. And 157 puts him to the top of the tree as the Gassian comes back out. 153 we think was a lift just to get a number on the board for this man. He's got a lot more in the tank. See if he can find it. No, that deep, very deep position has cost him there. And the Armenian with a miss in the second round at 157.
Just watch, if we see the side angle, just watch how he jumps backwards away from the bar. Not fully committed psychologically here. Just that hesitation. I want to go under, but I don't. And it does hit him hard as well. Really deep position. You have to be in absolutely the right place.
Yeah, backside was really close to the floor when that bar hit him.
The thing is, it happens so quickly that if he does stand straight from that position, even if his backside does touch the floor, it takes a very good eye to be able to see it. And unless you're 100% sure, you give the athlete the benefit of the doubt. So 3 referees, one will be directly in front of the lifter, and then the other 2 will be slightly to either side. Yeah, you've got to be really sure that you've seen something else touch the platform to be able to fail it.
Now, this is where things are going to get interesting, because Anakan has put a number on the board. And Agassian, for that matter, at 153, not his best, but it's there. So now the posturing and the tactics will begin.
I thought he had 30-second buzzer then.
Well, that's interesting.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah, if that's Agassian that has to follow himself out, then this could all be a little bit rushed. So he comes back out at 157, follows himself.
Well, he's taking his time, I must be wrong. He's had a glance at the clock as well, so he knows how long he has. It may have been a minute warning.
Hasn't looked convincing so far. Oh, again, cannot recover from that position. So Agassian, that's a shocker for him. He'll be really concerned about that, taking it through to the next phase. 153 is his snatch weight, and that's well below the 172 PB that he's capable of.
Just not quite enough height generated on the bar.
So the competition beginning to warm up now. Agassian with 2 misses at 157. That's his 3 lifts done. Pizzolato, the Italian junior, is done. Pavmartian of the Netherlands is done. He finished at 152, and now we start to move it up a gear. And Anakan still leads as Giovanni Bardis of France, his compatriot, heads out onto the stage. I wonder when Anakan will come back in and what sort of risk he's going to take on the second round lift. It's going to be about what the rest decide to do. Still got Novakar, Yufkin, Bulat and Dudoglo to lift. And Bardis, is that 158?
Yep. He knows how long he has. He's okay for time. Well, it's much more dynamic under the bar. Moving at speed, you see the solid receiving position. Part of that, if we look at the replay, is how his feet land. He lands on flat feet. He's not lifting his feet up to slam to make that noise, but he does land in a really solid position, really solid base. Gives him every chance of standing up successfully.
Good start from Bardis. Very Western look to the leaderboard at the moment in this men's 85 kilo category in the snatch part of the competition. We've got France, Italy. 1, 2, 3, Bardis, Anakan, Pizzolato. But Bardis and Anakan still with 2 rounds of lifting to go. Just looking back at the earlier numbers that we saw, 156, thereabouts in the snatch phase of the competition for the B group. So respectable, but should be surpassed, and we should see a round of lifting where 1 or 2 are going to be driven on to really test themselves here, and that's usually the case when you get so many guys coming in quite late. But now this is all going to start. So Mikhail Novikov of Belarus, 161 we think. We did have Alexandru Dodoglu up at 160. So we'll see if that is the case. The Moldovan obviously passing up on that one. So Novikov, Nikolai, 161. Oh, got away with it.
Small rotation of the shoulders just to get his centre of balance back. Fairly comfortable though. Bar up to arm's length without too much bother. Just got to be so careful as the bar comes off the floor. You have to be in the right position. The weight distributed evenly on flat feet to maintain that balance. As soon as you come onto your toes, you end up then leaning on the bar, throwing the hips forward, and that's when you put a big swing on the bar.
Good work from the 2010 European bronze medalist. So Novikov moves himself to the top of the tree on 161. And this is when the likes of Bardis and Anakan are going to have to respond. And the response from Anakan is 162. So he's going to keep things, I think, here at Mikhail, nice and tidy and rely on his clean and jerk quality. Well,
yeah, but he needs to be careful. I mean, there are 3 medals to play for here. There are still 6 lifters capable of achieving those medals. Anakan is one of them. So while he has a strong clean and jerk, he obviously wants to be up there in contention on the snatch as well.
Just keep an eye on the leg strength here. A couple of question marks on that first lift. Little glance across at the clock. And that's experience lifting from the 30-year-old. So he's got 1 lift in the bag to play with. But so far, so good from the Frenchman.
Well, better than the first attempt. Just see him taking a small look out into the crowd. It's important as an athlete that you soak up what's going on, that you're aware of what's around you, but don't let it phase you. You've got to come onto the platform and all you see is the bar, nothing else. I just tell my athletes to shut everything else out, go out there. We tend to go onto the platform before the competition starts just to see what it's like to stand on that.
Any surprises,
stand on that platform, experience what it's like to look out into the distance, because it is a huge auditorium. Usually when you're in a small training hall or in your own gym back at home, it's quite a small room usually, and you have a wall fairly close that you can get a good focal point on. When you step foot onto these kind of platforms, it can be a very different experience altogether.
2 Moldovan athletes in this competition, Bullock and Dodoglu. Look at them just warming up, waiting to come into this competition. Alexi York, 29 years of age, still waiting for his entry, and I wonder how much they're going to toy with Anakan here.
Well, Yufkin has got a 164 starting weight. Here he is now in picture. They showed a clip of him a few minutes ago doing a 150 in the warm-up room, and it looked very convincing. And the Russians, as always, very tidy technically.
Very experienced lifter is Yufkin, with some good numbers, but he'll know that potentially in the clean and jerk phase he is going to be chasing Anakan, so he would like with these 3 lifts to build some kind of advantage. But Bullock and Dodoglu still to show their hand for Moldova. Here we go then, 164 for Yufkin.
Oh, nice extension. A little slow dropping under. That change in direction, the change in speed from the full extension to dropping under needs to be lightning quick. And if you watch the replay, he looked like he tried to catch the bar quite high and then ride it in. Really, you should be hitting the bottom as quick as possible. Quite high receiving position. Just didn't look to have the legs to generate any more float on the bar. He might find himself in trouble unless he can correct that mistake.
Yeah, that could be our first big name with a problem in this competition, and I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that we've got all these guys around very similar weights pushing each other. Bardis has done well, though, to put himself in the picture, and he comes out for a go at 164 as well.
And he must be in good shape. This is a 1 kilo personal best attempt, an increase of 6 kilos from his first. Big lift.
Just using those thumbs to check his hand position on the bar. Nice wide grip and a little look again across at the clock. Away we go.
Oh, he's got it.
Yes, he's there.
Only
Good
just
work.
right on the limit.
New PB then, 164 for Giovanni Bardis, and that certainly puts him in the mix.
Well, the speed at which he dropped underneath the bar, phenomenal. It only just got to the bottom in time. There's not much more there, maybe a kilo, maybe 2. Superb personal best. You want to watch for speed, this is the one to watch.
Snatch competition in the men's 85 kilo division, and Akan leads from Novikar from Bardis. So we got France, Belarus, France at the moment. And this man, well, Alexi York, waiting to come in at 164, but did not look good on that first attempt. And again, he's taking his time over here. A lot of fiddling about before this lift. Needs his experience here, and he can't get it moved from that receive position.
Well, the bar was at arm's length. He was under it this time. Let's have a look, ideally from the side, to give some technical feedback. It's a very fine line between good lifts and bad lifts at this level. God, not much wrong, just slightly back on his heels in the receiving position. Well, he's under pressure. He's an athlete of many years' experience. 2 failed lifts. He needs 1 to stay in the competition. And he is in contention for a medal if he can execute. His warm-up must have gone well, because he posted 160 to start, and he's come in at 164.
This is interesting. Bullock and Dudoglu, the 2 Moldovan athletes, coaches are saying, we're hanging on, we're not going in yet. I wouldn't say that this is the most convincing look from either of these athletes. This is a huge ask for them to come in now if they're going to come in at 165.
Yeah, the bar's gone up, so Yufkin to try and buy himself a little more time to recover and to try and stay with the medals.
Yeah,
Has
good
gambled
experience.
everything now. 165 he's gone to, having missed 164 twice. He'll have a couple of minutes before he's back out.
So Yufkin, 1 lift left to stay in the competition as the first of the 2 Moldovan athletes comes out. This is Uri Bullock at 165. Bullock 4th at the Under-20 World Championships. Just 20 years of age, and 162 PB, so this is a massive increase.
Oh, look tidy.
Oh, there you go, first lift, PB, done.
Wow, he means business. Very good in terms of levers. If you look at the way he's built, very long back, relatively short arms and legs in comparison. That's perfect levers for weightlifting.
Well, so far so good in terms of the call from the Moldovan coaches.
Just swung the bar out around his knees, but managed to stabilise overhead. Needs to be careful. It was a convincing opener.
Nice start then. Bullock moves into the lead at 165, shunts Bardis down into 2nd, and Akan of France then in 3rd. So France still going well, 2nd and 3rd. And our final lifter, Alexandru Dudoglu, comes out, so still no sign of Yufkin.
This is a huge first attempt. 165, personal best was set last year at 160. This is an incredible opener.
Well, we said it was massive calls from the Moldovan coaches. Paid off on the first shout. See if it can pay off here with Dodoglu. Oh, well, they know their onions today. Moldova dominating the snatch here with 2 fabulous lifts.
Well, that was convincing. Quite far over the bar in the starting position. Just there as he came off the floor. Great flexibility in the shoulders to compensate. Just see how heavily his legs are built. He's built for a clean and jerk.
Belting lift, and this man, Benjamin Enakar's got some company. So Bullock leads, courtesy of body weight on 165. Dodoglu slots in second. Bardis in third. Enakar at the moment out of the medals, but coming out at 166. This is his last throw of the dice. And Yufkin's still not reappearing. He's still pushing this up and up and up. We've seen it before. We've seen the big names able to cope under this sort of pressure and then come out and make the big lift, but I don't know. I think it might be beyond Yufkin today, but he's gambling. All or nothing for him, but for Enakar, he's got the numbers on the board. He's a very good clean and jerk lifter, but would dearly like this one just to round things out. 165 then for the Frenchman. Oh, yes. And another convincing lift and a little look around the auditorium as well.
Well, 5 kilos below his best, but that is some great lifting. 3 out of 3. He may not find himself on the podium after the snatch. There's still a number of lifters left in the competition, but he's in a really strong position going into the clean and jerk, and he has a very strong clean and jerk. So he's there, he's put himself in the best possible place halfway through the competition. Should be proud of that.
And looking to improve on his bronze medal last year. He picked up a bronze, then a silver in the snatch, then clean and jerk respectively, and got the bronze in the overall as well, just behind Malagov and Markov, both of whom are not here. This is Russia's entry to the competition. And Yufkin playing a dangerous game. So 165 to stay in this 85 kilo division competition. If he misses this, he's out. Doesn't get a go at clean and jerk. My apologies, he does get a go at clean and jerk. Mikhaila just correcting me.
It's because there's 3 medals.
Because there is the medal, of course. My apologies, but the overall title opportunity will have gone. Big lift. Oh, he can't get it. So the opportunity for the overall medal and the opportunity for a medal in the snatch has gone for Alexi Yufkin. And a real disappointment from Russia, who've been going along very nicely at this championship with 2nd and 3rd string athletes. But that's a problem.
A whiff of the smelling salts. Watch what happens here. Good extension, just not enough legs to generate the upward movement.
So into the final phase of this snatch competition, and this is where the medals are going to be decided. Nikolai Novikar came out at 161 to put something on the board and has gone up by 5 kilos. So 166 for Nikolai with his 2nd lift.
Oh, nearly lost it behind. Great strength and stability in the shoulders. Managed to recover.
Cracking adjustments there, 1st and 2nd round, and it's paid dividends. Bounces off of the platform.
Just watch here, nearly went behind. Great stability in those shoulders. See how much he's stressing and straining to keep it overhead.
So good lift from him. Remember, Bullock and Dodoglu 165 apiece, so Novikar takes a single kilo lead. That's Giovanni Bardis. As far as we're concerned, Bardis has done his job here. 2 excellent rounds. Now, can he put the icing on the top of the cake?
Wow, this is a huge lift. His previous lift was a personal best. He's in unknown territory right now. Let's see what he's got.
Here we go. This to get in amongst it. This would put him in the top 3.
Oh, so nearly there. Just a fraction short on the leg extension. Well, it was a good attempt. Unfortunately, not to be. He's going to find himself down in 5th place after the snatch. But he reflect on this competition. I don't think he'll be too disappointed. Threw his shoulders back, left the bar out in front.
Yeah, it's a great view, that side-on view. That really shows you where that weight is in relation to the body. It shows you just what phenomenal athletic ability these guys possess to be shifting these weights in the way that they do. Now, Dodoglu and Bullock, what a great entry to the competition. The Moldovan pair hanging on and coming in at 165 and coming in convincingly as well. Dodoglu out at 167. Novikar leads for Belarus on 166. At the moment, Dodoglu in that bronze medal position. That medal is guaranteed. No, not this time.
Well, this is where the technique comes into play. If you don't have the precision and have that bar moving as close to the body as possible, you're going to come unstuck. It just throws the hips forward, shoulders back, puts a big loop on the bar. He's under pressure there. First attempt looked good. But he needs to execute now to stay in contention, especially going into the clean and jerk.
Yeah, has one lift left if he wants to overtake Novikar, but remember Novikar also has a lift to go, so he's got another throw of the dice. And Bullock waiting to see what his next move will be. It looks like Dodoglu is going to have to follow himself here. Rules backstage. I mean, a number of different things can occur very close to the next lift, but it does look like it will be Dodoglu, so nobody else throwing their hat in the ring at the moment. And Bullock still with 2 lifts to go, so you'd have to say Bullock looking favourite if he can find the weight for that gold.
Well, the coach trying to get his athlete fired up by pulling his hair, squeezing his ears, give him a whiff of the smelling salts, anything to get the adrenaline going. Oh, slap round the face.
Just a last blow before he heads out to the stage. 167 will give him the lead, but both Bullock and Novikar can respond. Does look a touch nervous here, does the 26-year-old. Again, another man with a fantastic record and has medalled at the European Championships in the past, back in 2012. Picked up a silver there. No. Well, he wasn't as convincing on those second 2 lifts when he came out onto the stage. Did look a little concerned. So 165 is what Dodoglu will have to settle for, and that will be good enough for the bronze medal in the snatch competition. Next out onto the stage is Uri Bullock. Already guaranteed at least a silver, but 2 rounds to go, and decided on 168, so that gives him the lead and forces Novikar's hand if he makes it, Michaela.
Yes, it does. It's going to be close between these two. Novikar has a stronger clean and jerk, has posted 190 compared to Bullock's 180. So this is an important lift. Needs to stay as close as he can. And it's convincing.
Second PB of the evening for Uri Bullock.
Not a great elbow lock, but it's irrelevant so long as the arms don't move and the bar's overhead. Just see how ripped he is. Not much fat on him at all. It's a sign that he's had to drop in body weight. Most of these, in fact all of these athletes will be training probably close to 90 kilos in body weight and then dropping down to 85, just under, for competition. And most of these athletes would not have made sub 85 until this morning.
Wow. Yeah, that's another physical demand to add into the long list of physical demands on this sport. But they do it well. Mikolaj Novikov then, after seeing Bullock successful at 168, has to come out for 169. So this is Novikov's final attempt. This would give him the lead back. Oh, and it doesn't. So it's going to be Bullock's gold, Novikov in silver, Dodoglu in bronze. Bullock still with one to go.
He nearly lost the previous attempt behind, had to work hard to save it. Just a bit too much of a swing on the bar this time. It's a nice position to be in, coming out with one attempt remaining, knowing you've got the gold on the snatch. Well, that's okay. Bullock will now be coming out thinking more about the overall total. He needs to gain as much lead as he possibly can on the snatch going into the second half of the competition. Probably expecting him to come in around the 170 mark.
Yeah, 189 for a PB for Bullock, so that isn't in contention with some of the bigger names in this competition. Having said that, he's moved his PB up from 162 to 168 in the snatch, so clearly there's room for improvement for this young man. He's come into this competition in great form, and no surprises. He's going for broke a little bit here. So a full 10 kilos on his PB at the start of today. 172 then, the final attempt of this snatch competition for Uri Bullock. What do you think, Michaela?
Well, I think he's got the potential to do it. The last two lifts have looked convincing. 3 kilo increase between first and second. Now he's gone for a 4 kilo increase. This is about the total. This is about trying to establish as much lead as possible. And he's got it.
Yes, that's a great piece of lifting. And Uri Bullock picks up the gold in the snatch, but probably more importantly, he's put a little bit of pressure on those around him going into the clean and jerk. And that's an excellent finish.
Well, he needs it. Looking at the clean and jerk, looking at the starting weights that all of the lifters have posted, he's actually got the lightest weight. So he's now actually under a bit of pressure right now, because he'll be going off the platform after that lift. No time to sit down, no time to have a drink. He'll be straight back on the bar. There's only a 10-minute break between snatch and clean and jerk. He's got 10 minutes to prepare. 10 minutes to go from an empty bar right up to and close to 180. I hope his coaches have realised, because he hasn't got long.
Well, there we go. He'll have to enjoy the gold medal a little bit later, because he's got to turn his mind to the clean and jerk now. Novikov picking up silver for Belarus, and Dodoglu making it a very good snatch competition for Moldova. He picks up the bronze. We'll take a short break there. We'll be back to take a look